Okay, let's unpack this. You've given us a stack of information, in this case, centered around one specific product.
Yep.
And our mission is to dive deep into that source material, pull out the most important nuggets, and help you figure out what's really going on.
Exactly. Think of us sifting through the details, the manufacturer's claims, the technical specs, and crucially, what people who've actually bought and used it are saying in the real world.
Yeah, get that user perspective.
We want to give you the well-informed shortcut.
And that's exactly what we're doing today as we take a deep dive into your sources about making your shower experience potentially better. We're looking at the SINGSUO filtered rain shower head with handheld spray combo.
Right.
Your source material is primarily its product listing page, so we're getting the official description, the tech specs, and importantly, those customer reviews.
Okay, so from the listing, we see it's a dual shower head system. You get that main rain shower head and a connected handheld spray.
2-in-1.
Pretty standard combo these days. It's priced around $98.99 on Amazon. Available in finishes like matte black.
Which seems popular.
It does. And based on some review photos and maybe the comparison charts they sometimes have, chrome looks like an option too.
Okay. And it's gotten some attention, right? I saw it listed as a hashtag 256 bestseller in handheld shower heads back in November 2024.
Yeah, that's not insignificant. Tells you people are definitely checking it out. It's on the radar.
So let's jump into the features the manufacturer is really pushing.
Right, with a highlight first. One that immediately stands out is what they call the innovative magnetic design.
Okay, magnetic, so different from the usual clip or bracket.
Exactly. This moves away from that traditional wall-mounted bracket. Instead, the handheld spray just docks onto the main unit using a presumably powerful magnet.
And the benefit?
Well, the big claimed benefit here, according to the listing, is super easy access.
Makes sense.
It even says you can grab it with your eyes closed while shampooing, which is quite a claim.
Huh. Yeah, maybe don't try that literally.
Probably not. But a nice practical touch is that you can adjust the angle of this magnetic base for aiming the handheld when it's docked.
Okay, that's useful. Next up, and this seems like a major selling point, is the integrated filter system.
Yes, it's built right into the core unit, not like an add-on filter you screw on separately.
Okay.
The listing details the components: VC balls, Maifanite, magnetic balls, calcium sulfite, and KDF copper powder.
Right, that's quite a list. Sounds very
Yeah.
technical. Without getting lost in the weeds, what's the basic idea? What are they supposed to do?
Well, these are materials you often see in water filtration. Things like Maifanite, that's a mineral stone. It helps absorb impurities.
Okay.
And KDF Copper Powder works through a sort of chemical process, an oxidation reduction thing, to help reduce chlorine and certain heavy metals.
Gotcha.
So basically, together, they're designed to capture various contaminants you might find in your water.
Okay, so the system claims to effectively filter out chlorine, heavy metals, and other stuff you might not want showering in.
Exactly. And the stated benefit, the reason you'd want this, is improving the condition of your skin and scalp.
Which makes sense, especially if you live somewhere with hard water, right? That can really dry you out.
Precisely. That's often a big driver for people looking at filtered shower heads.
But filters aren't a one-time deal, are they? You have to maintain them.
No, they're not. Good point. The listing notes the filter cartridge needs to be replaced periodically.
How often?
Typically every 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
But, you know, the actual lifespan depends on your local water quality, how hard it is, what's in it, and, of course, how often you use the shower.
Right, makes sense. Okay, let's move on to the actual showering experience, the feel of it. Starting with the main rain head.
Okay. It's a substantial size. A large 10-inch square panel.
10 inches, wow.
Yeah, so the intention, they say, is to provide a larger coverage area, give you that more immersive, luxurious feeling, you know,
Yeah.
like a natural waterfall.
Simulating rain. Is it adjustable for different heights in the family?
Yes, there's an adjustable lift bar built right into the unit. It allows you to change the height of the rain head within about a 3.9-inch range.
Oh.
So that's convenient if you've got tall people and shorter people using the same shower.
Definitely.
Plus, the rain shower head itself has a 360-degree swivel joint. A ball joint, basically.
So you can angle it.
Yeah, angle it precisely where you want the water to go.
And what about cleaning it? Hard water can lead to build up those crusty white deposits on the nozzles.
Right, lime scale. They mentioned that. I saw something about self-cleaning nozzles.
Yeah.
That's right. They're made of TPR material that's a type of flexible, rubbery plastic.
Okay.
This material is designed to be anti-clogging. The idea is you can just rub your finger over the nozzles to easily break up and remove any lime scale buildup.
Easier maintenance.
Good.
All right, how about the handheld side? What can that do?
Well, the system gives you options. There's a 3-function switch button. Looks pretty straightforward.
And that lets you choose.
You can easily select just the rain shower head, just the handheld, or, and this is often a key feature people look for, have both running simultaneously.
Okay, good. And the handheld itself, does it just have one spray pattern?
No, it actually has 5 distinct spray modes, designed, they say, to meet different needs or preferences.
5 modes. What are they?
The technical details list them as trickle.
Okay, water saving maybe?
Probably. Then particle spray, blade waterfall spray.
Blade waterfall. That sounds intense.
It does. We'll come back to that one. Then inner ring rain spray and outer ring rain spray.
Okay, inner and outer ring. Variations on the rain feel, perhaps.
Seems likely. Maybe different coverage or pressure. Can you give us a sense of what those might feel like?
Yeah.
You mentioned the blade waterfall.
Yeah, what's that about?
Well, based on the names, you can sort of guess, right? Trickle is obviously very low flow. Particle spray is likely a more focused, maybe pulsating stream, good for rinsing shampoo, perhaps. The blade waterfall is actually highlighted in the listing. They say it has super strong shooting power.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they even suggest using it as a tool for cleaning your shower tiles because it's so powerful.
Huh. Interesting. A pressure washer mode for your shower?
Sort of. And then the inner ring and outer ring rain sprays probably offer, like you said, variations on the standard rain feel. Different parts of the handheld head are active, maybe changing the width or intensity of the spray.
Okay, interesting. Dual purpose for that blade mode. Now, on to getting this thing installed. This is often where things get tricky. The manufacturer claims easy installation and no plumber needed.
Ah, yes, the classic promise.
Is it believable?
Well, that's the claim. The listing states the package includes all the necessary accessories, Teflon tape, washers, everything you supposedly need.
Okay.
And it uses a universal G12 threaded interface.
Which is standard.
Yes, that's the standard size for most shower arms and hoses in the U.S., so compatibility shouldn't usually be an issue.
And does it come with its own hose for the handheld part?
It does, yes. A 79-inch stainless steel shower hose.
79 inches. That's quite long.
It is. Significantly more range and flexibility than many standard hoses, which might be around 60 inches. Good for rinsing the shower, washing pets, or if you need to sit while showering.
Okay, so that's the story straight from the product, listing the features, the claims, the technical specs. All sounds pretty good on paper. But here's where the deep dive adds crucial value. What are the actual users saying? Once it's out of the box and in their bathroom, being used every day.
Right. This is where we get the ground truth. Looking at the customer feedback, the listing shows a 4.3 out of 5 stars.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, not bad. Based on 66 global ratings at the time your sources were compiled anyway. User reviews give us that real-world perspective, which, often goes beyond the marketing copy.
So was the overall positive sentiment strong? Did people generally like it?
For many users, yes, definitely. They generally report liking the shower head's functionality, the perceived quality of the price point, and the water pressure seemed to be a plus for many.
Good pressure is key.
Absolutely. We saw comments describing it as a great shower system. Someone said it worked amazingly, and others praised the great quality and price.
Oh, okay.
The size of the rain head, that 10-inch panel, was also often appreciated, described as nice and providing a perfect height after installation.
And the filter. Did people notice a difference? Did it live up to the hype about skin and hair?
This is where some very positive feedback comes in. One reviewer specifically called the filter life-changing.
Wow, strong words.
Yeah. They attributed it to the impact on their skin and scalp, especially mentioning they were in a hard water environment.
So for that person, it really delivered.
It seems so. And the overall feeling of the rain shower head itself, separate from the filter, was also often described with words like luxurious.
Nice. Okay, but what about the installation? The manufacturer says easy, no plumber needed. How did users actually find it?
Ah, yes. Here the feedback was quite mixed. Polarized, almost.
Oh.
While some reviewers genuinely found it very easy, pretty straightforward, exactly as advertised. Others reported significant difficulty. They felt the instructions provided were scant, just not detailed enough to guide them properly.
Okay, so potential frustration there. Let's get into those crucial insights, the real-world challenges users faced. And importantly, did the reviews offer any solutions or reveal limitations the manufacturer doesn't really talk about?
Definitely.
What were the main frustrations people reported? Any recurring themes?
Yes, a recurring issue, a significant one that some customers reported, was concerning sturdiness. particularly how the whole unit attaches to the pipe coming out of the wall of the shower arm.
What was the problem?
They mentioned that the plastic ring or connector piece there couldn't be tightened sufficiently.
So it felt loose.
Exactly, leading to the head feeling wobbly, prone to flocking over, as one person put it, or spinning around unintentionally when they didn't want it to.
Ugh, that sounds incredibly frustrating. If the main head won't stay put, that kind of ruins the experience.
Absolutely.
Was there anything in the reviews, any tips that helped troubleshoot this? Because that sounds like a deal breaker.
Okay, yes. And this is where one user, Jacob Kissinger in the reviews, provides a really valuable, actionable insight, like exactly the kind of thing we look for.
What did they say?
He suggests that many users might be skipping or just missing a critical step in the tightening process.
Huh.
Apparently, after you do the initial hand tightening onto the shower arm, there are 3 specific spots on the unit itself, little grub screws maybe, that need to be tightened further with an included Allen wrench.
Ah, an Allen wrench step. Maybe not obvious from the instructions.
That seems to be the implication. He also emphasizes assembling the entire system fully before you try to attach it to the shower arm on the wall. Don't try and piece it together while it's hanging there.
Right. Assemble first, then mount.
Exactly. And this review strongly suggests that the flopping issue might actually be due to users not following that complete installation process. Perhaps because the instructions aren't clear enough about those Allen wrench spots.
So he offered the solution that users found. That's gold.
It really is. That's exactly the kind of deep dive nugget that's so helpful, a user-provided fix for a common, potentially major complaint.
Were there other design considerations users highlighted? Things you wouldn't know just from the listing?
Yes, another significant point raised by a reviewer concerned the angle of the handheld shower head when it's docked on that magnetic base.
The angle when it's attached. What about it?
They noted it is not able to rotate facing down. It points pretty much straight forward or maybe slightly up.
Wait, so it doesn't angle down towards you?
Apparently not, according to this user, which results, for them anyway, in a constant spray right to the face, depending on how close they stand to the unit.
Wow. Okay, so if you're using the handheld while it's magnetically docked, maybe for the combined spray mode, you might just get blasted in the face.
Potentially, yeah. It really depends on your shower layout, your height relative to the shower head. The reviewer points out the implication. You might need a shower cap if you don't want your hair wet every single time. Or maybe the system is just better suited for very large or extra large showers,
Right.
where you have the physical room to step back from that docked handheld spray.
That's a critical detail, something the listing definitely doesn't make clear, but a significant real-world limitation depending on your bathroom size.
Absolutely. It's a potential usability issue for smaller spaces.
Was there also a safety-related comment? I think I saw something about the filter.
Yes. Good catch.
Whoa.
One reviewer raised a specific safety concern regarding the filter cartridge itself, inside the unit.
What was the concern?
They warned that if it's not seated properly and securely inside the unit before you turn the water on,
Yeah.
the water pressure could build up behind it
Yeah?
and cause the filter cartridge to actually shoot out of the housing.
Shoot, ow. Serious.
That's what they said. And they noted it's, a reasonably solid object, heavy enough that it could potentially cause harm if it hit someone.
Okay, that's definitely something to be aware of. Did they offer any advice on how to prevent that? Seems crucial.
They did. The reviewer advises making absolutely sure you forcefully push the filter all the way in and rotate it until you are certain it's properly seated and locked securely in place. You should feel or hear it click, presumably.
Right, make sure it's fully engaged.
Exactly. And as an extra preventative measure, they suggest when you first turn the water on, after installing it, or after changing the filter,
Yeah.
do it slowly, and have both the rain head and the handheld sprayers initially open, selected to run.
Why both open?
The idea is this helps to equalize the pressure across the system more gently, rather than sending a sudden high-pressure surge just through the part containing the filter, which might be more likely to dislodge it if it wasn't perfectly seated.
Ah, okay. Turn water on slowly, both heads active initially. Got it. Those are incredibly important details gleaned directly from user experiences, stuff that goes way beyond the official product description.
Absolutely. They really paint a fuller picture. So Synthesizing these user reviews, what's the takeaway?
Well, it seems clear that many people genuinely value features like the filtration benefit, especially for hard water.
Hmm.
The good water pressure they experience seems to be a common plus. The large rain head, that long 79-inch hose, and the convenience of the magnetic dock are also appreciated.
Right. Lots of positives mentioned frequently.
However, potential buyers really should be aware that installation isn't universally easy. Some find it simple, others struggle, possibly due to the instructions.
Yeah, that discrepancy is key.
And crucially, understanding and applying that specific Allen wrench tightening tip seems vital to avoiding that common sturdiness complaint.
That seems like non-negotiable advice based on the feedback.
And finally, understanding the limitation of the handheld's fixed forward angle when it's docked is really important. You need to consider if that will work in your space.
Yeah, it might require adjusting how you shower, or it might simply not be the best fit if you have a smaller, more enclosed shower stall.
So, considering everything we've unpacked, the manufacturer's claims, the features, but also these real user experiences, the good and the bad, who does this product seem best suited for?
Well, based on all that, it seems like a strong contender for someone who specifically wants to filter their shower water, maybe because of hard water issues.
Okay.
Someone who desires both that enveloping rain shower experience and the flexibility of a handheld option.
Right?
Someone who would benefit from that longer than average hose and finds the magnetic dock concept appealing for easy grab-and-go access to the handheld.
But with caveats.
Definitely. You
Okay.
absolutely need to factor in your shower size and honestly assess whether that potential issue with the handheld's fixed forward angle when docked is something you can live with or work around.
And for practical considerations, the price point again is around $98.99. The listing does mention a 30-day return policy.
Which is helpful if you install it and find, you know what, that angle just blasts me in the face or it feels wobbly even after tightening.
Yeah.
You have an out.
Yeah, that return window is important.
And interestingly, one reviewer who was a renter specifically pointed out that because it just screws onto the standard shower arm, replacing the existing head,
Yeah.
it's totally removable. You can take it with you when you move.
Mhm.
So they framed it as a potentially great, albeit temporary, renter upgrade.
That's a good point for renters looking for improvements. Did the brand, SINGSUO, say anything about their philosophy?
Just a little bit in the listing. They state their philosophy involves focusing on continuous innovation, exploring user needs, and ensuring products pass strict performance control tests. Standard marketing language, mostly.
Right.
But comparing that stated goal, especially the focusing on user needs and performance parts, with the real user feedback we found.
Yeah.
The struggles with instructions, the user discovery of the critical Allen wrench fix, the design limitation of the handheld angle that impacts usability, and that safety warning about the filter.
It really highlights the gap, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
The gap that user reviews can fill between the manufacturer's intent, or at least their claims, and the actual day-to-day user experience.
It does. And that really brings us to the core trade-offs and insights we've uncovered in this depth dive. You're balancing these innovative features like the magnetic dock and the potential benefits of the integrated filtration system that the manufacturer promises with the installation nuances, that specific user-discovered tip for sturdiness, which seems essential, and that significant design limitation of the handheld angle that users pointed out, which isn't mentioned up front.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How much does that unfiltered real-world user experience, those specific tips and warnings and frustrations buried in the reviews, truly influence the perceived value and, maybe more importantly, the suitability of a product for an individual?
Yeah, especially when you compare it directly to the manufacturer's own polished description and stated features. It raises a really important question for anyone researching a purchase like this. Just how deeply do you need to dive into that collective user experience beyond the start rating to get the full unvarnished picture before you decide if a product is truly right for you and your specific situation?